Hey everyone, today we are going to learn how to make this crocheted heart dish scrubby. So this is made with a combination of a cotton yarn. So this is Nifty Cotton Splash. It's a worsted weight 100% cotton yarn held with a strand of Creative Bubble. And I have put kits together on my website, so you would get one hank of the Nifty Cotton Splash and one ball of the Creative Bubble. And I have two colorways. I have the pink, I have the blue, and I have the pink. Now, most of you know that you can't knit or crochet directly from a hank like this. As soon as you undo the little ties that hold it all together and you try and work with it, it just creates this giant knot. You have to whirl it into a ball or wind it into a cake. So I have already pre-wound these in the kits, and so then you don't have to worry about that. So each kit contains one hank of the cotton, one ball of the Creative Bubble, and that is $20. Plus there are links on the packaging to two patterns. This one, as well as a washcloth. And the washcloth pattern is one from my yarn supplier's website. It has a crochet and a knit version of the same washcloth. And I don't have a sample here today, but I have made it in the past, and it is super easy and super scrubby. Okay, let's start learning how to create this. So this pattern is a double thickness heart. So you make two hearts and then you crochet them together. So I've already gone ahead and made one just to sort of speed things up for us. Let's go over what you're going to need besides the contents of your kit. You're going to need a 5.5mm crochet hook. If you are a super tight crocheter, then I would go up to 6mm. The cotton yarn itself calls for like a 5mm hook, holding it double with the Creative Bubble. It creates a little bit of extra sort of girth to it. But it's mostly these little sort of hairs, these little fibers that, it's not like they create extra sort of weight per se, but they do create a little bit of extra grip on your hook. And therefore a bigger hook is going to be your friend. It's just going to be a lot easier for you to find your stitches that way. And those little hairs help sort of fill everything out. I don't know if the camera is really picking up the sort of halo you get from all those hairs, but you're not going to notice any gaps between your stitches because of them. So anyways, a 5.5mm hook, or whatever works for you to get the tension and the size that you desire. Stitch markers. I will go through where to place these stitch markers, but we are going to be working into chains, and because of the increased difficulty in finding your stitches, because of this, all these little hairs, the use of stitch markers I think is a really good idea. So I highly recommend stitch markers. A yarn needle to weave in ends later, one with a bigger eye, because you are going to be putting both strands through at the same time. And then scissors. Before we get started, this is what I have left of my Creative Bubble from making, I've made 3 full hearts plus like 2 half hearts. So this one and then one that I was still experimenting with a pattern, and so it didn't really work out. So that just went in the garbage. So you can easily make 4 full hearts out of this, or like 2 hearts and a washcloth probably. And I have quite a bit of the cotton left over, so plenty of that. I just wanted to put that out there in case you were wondering how many dish scrubbies you can make from one kit. All right, this pattern starts with a magic ring. I feel like my Creative Bubble is going to be a giant old knotted mess soon, so I might be fighting with that during this filming. Bear with me. Now, I have a video on my YouTube about how to do a magic ring. So we're just going to go over it real fast. I wrap it around my fingers and create an X over the back of my hand. Take my hook underneath the first strand, grab the back strand, pull it through and twist. And then I'm going to go underneath that back strand again and pull that through the loop on my hook. So that is our first chain. And we want to have a starting chain of 3. So I'm going to put 2 more chains. Now I'm going to mark that third chain. We are going to have to work into that on the start of the next round. And trust me, it will get lost. Now, a note about working into the magic ring when you've got sort of so many strands. You always want to make sure that your short tails are sitting on top of your ring, no matter what yarn you're working with. When you're working in a magic ring, you need to work over those short tails in order to tighten your ring. When you have what is in essence 4 strands, it feels a little bit more awkward, more finicky. There's just more there. So just bear in mind that you need to make sure you're working over 4 strands at all times. Okay, we're going to be starting with 3 treble crochets. So to make a treble crochet, you're going to yarn over twice. So you're going to wrap your yarn around your hook twice. Then you're going to insert into the ring, grab that yarn and pull it back through the ring. So now you've got 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over again, pull through the next 2, yarn over one more time and pull through those last 2. So that's a treble. We're going to do that 2 more times into the magic ring. So yarn over twice, insert your hook into the ring, grab your yarn and pull it back through the ring. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the second 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the third 2 loops. And then one more time, yarn over twice, insert, grab that yarn and pull it back, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we need 3 double crochets. So this time we're just yarning over once into that ring and pulling a loop up, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. 2 more times. So that is the first sort of side, and now we need to make the point at the bottom. So to do this, we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to put a treble crochet down at the bottom. So I'm going to yarn over twice, insert into my ring, pull up that loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I like to mark that treble. We do work into it in each round, but we also work into the chain space, and sometimes it can be a little confusing which is a chain, which is a stitch. So to make it easier on myself and to help you guys out, I thought, well, we'll just mark that stitch, and that way we know exactly which one is a stitch and which one is the chain space. So now we're gonna reverse what we just did. We're gonna chain 1, and then into our ring, we're gonna put 3 doubles. So for double crochet, you just yarn over once before you go in. And this is double number 3. Now before I proceed, my tails are getting a little bit small, so I am just going to take some time and pull them to close my ring a fair bit. Not all the way, obviously, because we still need to work into it, but I just want to pull it a little bit tighter. It'll make it easier to get my stitches in there. Just remember, if you do that, that you still need to work over these tails. So make sure that that you've grasped them like that and you're still working over them. Okay, we got 3 doubles. We need 3 trebles, so yarn over twice this time. And then we're going to do 3 pull through 2s. I know I'm adjusting my yarn a lot. Part of that is because my Creative Bubble is just kind of a loose mass right now. And part of it is because the Creative Bubble just tends to kind of grab onto everything, and you will find that you will be adjusting your grip a fair bit. Okay, so we got our 3 doubles, we got our 3 trebles. Now we need to do our chain 3. But before we do the whole thing, I'm gonna do my first chain, and then I'm gonna mark that first chain because we need to work into that chain in the next round. And then 2 more chains, and we're gonna come down into our magic ring, and we're going to slip stitch. Now, the instructions say to close your magic ring almost all the way. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit more of a tug. And it might be tricky to close your ring because that Creative Bubble just grabs on and it doesn't necessarily want to close. So a trick that I have learned is if you pull on the cotton, it will close the ring, and then you can sort of tug on the Creative Bubble to continue, or to just kind of tighten up the Creative Bubble part of the magic ring. Be careful though, don't pull on the Creative Bubble too hard, it will snap. Okay, so now we are ready for round 2. And we're going to start this round with a chain of 3. Sorry, I'm just going to get my tail out of the way there. Start this round with a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And before I remove that stitch marker, I'm going to actually just use a whole different stitch marker to mark that 3rd chain. That way I can still keep track of where everything is. Okay, so now we need to work into this chain. So I am going to remove my stitch marker, but I'm going to hang on to that so I remember exactly which one I'm working into. And we are going to put a half double crochet and a double crochet into this chain stitch. So try and get underneath the V of the chain. And to do a half double crochet, you yarn over first and insert and pull up a loop. So now I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And now we need to put a double crochet in that same space. So yarning over, finding that space again, pulling a loop back through, and this time I'm going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now in the next 2 stitches, we're going to put 2 double crochets. So yarn over, insert into the stitch, pull through 2, and then one more time. And find my next stitch, and I'm going to repeat that 2 double crochets into this stitch. And now I need to double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So if you take a look, if you use your cotton yarn as the guide to where your stitches are, that will help you. The Creative Bubble is just going to create this sort of glittery halo. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. This stitch marker is marking my treble. This is my chain. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. So just 1 double crochet in each of those 4 stitches. And now I need to make a double crochet into that chain 1 space. So just around the chain. And I'm at my stitch marker. I'm going to chain 1, take out my stitch marker, and I'm going to put another treble crochet in there. So sort of mimicking what we did in round 1 to make the point of our heart. and I'm going to replace my stitch marker into that treble. Chain one again, and now that's our treble from the round below, and that's our treble from the round we just did. This is our chain one space. So I need to put a double crochet in that chain one space. And just like round one, we're going to sort of reverse what we did. So I need a double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one, don't let this one sort of get lost. Sometimes, depending on how tight your chain is, sometimes this stitch can get hidden by the double crochet that you put into your chain one space. So just remember that there's still a stitch there. So this is your first one. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now I've got 2 stitches left before the chain that's marked by my stitch marker. So I need 2 double crochets in each of these stitches. And 2 in the next. And now into where my stitch marker is. So I'm going to take my stitch marker out, but I'm going to keep my fingers on that stitch so I don't lose it. I'm going to put a double crochet and then a half double crochet. So we're fully reversing what we did on the other side of the heart. So a double and a half. So yarning over, insert into that same space. If you lose where the space is, let's see if I can get nice and close for you. Hopefully it's in focus. Follow your stitch. Follow the stitch that you just made to where you made it. So that's the space there that we need to put our half double crochet into. So I'm yarning over, I'm going into that same space, grabbing my yarn, pulling it through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And now I need to chain 3 again, but like I did in round 1, I'm going to stop after my first chain and mark it, and then make 2 more chains. And we're going to go back into our magic ring with a slip stitch. I like to pull my slip stitches nice and tight. So now we can close that ring all the way. So I'm just tugging on that to get it nice and firmly closed. Okay. Round 3. This time we're starting with a chain of 2. And I'm going to mark that chain. Find where my stitch marker is. Hold on to that stitch as I take my stitch marker out. In this chain, this is the 3rd chain of the beginning round, we're going to start with a single crochet and then a half double crochet. Remember to try and go underneath the V of the chain. So that's my single, and then I need a half double in there as well. And now for the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, we're going to put 2 half double crochets in each of those. One, 2, 1, 2, whoops. Now, if we've done everything correctly, we should have 8 stitches before our chain 1 space. So let's just take a quick peek, quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's my marked stitch, that's my treble, that's my chain 1 space. So in each of these 8 stitches, we need 1 half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 and 8. And now we need 1 half double crochet in our chain 1 space. We're going to chain 1, and then in that marked stitch, so that was the treble from round 2, we're going to put a double crochet. And I'm going to mark it again. And now we're going to reverse what we just did. So we're going to chain 1, and then, so this is our treble from round 2. That's our double we just did. So that's our chain 1 space. So we're going to start there with a half double crochet. That's our next stitch. So if you have to pull your half double crochet over to sort of expose that stitch, then that's what you got to do. So 1 half double crochet into each of the next 8 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I should have 3 stitches before my marked stitch. 1, 2, 3. I need 2 half double crochets in each of those stitches. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And now I'm at my marked stitch, which is the first chain of my chain 3. I'm going to take my stitch marker out, but hold on to that chain. We need 1 half double crochet and 1 single crochet in this stitch, or chain, I guess I should say. And now we're going to chain 2. So just like before, after my first chain, I'm going to mark it. 1 more chain. And this time we're coming down into this. Let's see if I can make it any more clear. Right here, we're going to slip stitch into there. We're not going to come all the way down into the magic ring. We're just going to slip stitch into here. Pull it nice and tight. And now we're ready to sew them together, but first, I'm just going to pull that into a bigger loop. First, we need to deal with these ends. So when you're dealing with 2 strands of yarn, I just like to fold it over the eye of my needle, and then it usually slips right in to the eye. I've got both strands through the eye of my needle, and then I'm just going to pull them through. This doesn't have to be like as secure as it would be if you were, say, making a granny square blanket or something like that, and the insides were going to be exposed, because this is going to be inside our heart. So I've even left a bit of a tail there, and that just indicates to me that that's the inside. Okay, so now we're ready to attach our hearts together. I'm going to grab my other heart. This is the inside, that's where my tails are, and I'm going to put that together so the insides are together. Get my hook back in there. We're going to chain 1. I don't need to mark my chains anymore because I'm not going to be working into any chains that I make right now. Okay, let's zoom in there. This bit's a little bit tricky, so I'm going to do it like 1/2 at a time. We need to slip stitch through both of our marked chains. So the easiest way for me to do this is I'm holding on to where that chain is. I take my stitch marker out. I'm going to put my hook through this chain. And this one's really tight, so if you can only grab one strand, it's okay. As you can see, I am struggling. Okay, I've got one strand. We're gonna make that work. And then I'm gonna come over to my other heart, making sure that the inside is facing me. I'm gonna take my stitch marker out and I'm gonna put my hook through that stitch. And now I can pull my yarn back through that and then back through the loop that's on my hook. Now that we've got the slip stitch done, we are just going to single crochet through each stitch. There should be 17 single crochets from the start here to your chain one space. So to find where your single crochet is, just pull your work apart, and do you see here, this is where my yarn is coming out. This is my chain one space, or the chain space that I slipped into. That is my first, where my first single crochet needs to go. So I need to get in there, and then I need to find the corresponding one on the back. It's right there. Yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2. So you're just going to keep doing that, matching up stitches front and back all the way around. So that's 4, 5, 16 and 17. So the stitch markers indicate where the double crochet is from round 3, and then the little V beside it is my chain one space. So I'm going to single crochet into this chain one space. I can take out these stitch markers and into that bottom stitch so that we can maintain the sort of point of the heart. We're going to put a half double crochet, going through both sides still. Now that next V is our chain one space, so we're going to put a single crochet in there and then single crochet 17. One. And 17. And now we're back at our stitch markers and we're going to slip stitch into these stitches. So remember, these ones are going to be a little bit tighter because they're chains, not stitches. Try and catch the underneath 2 if you can. Ugh, I lost it. Hang on. This is where it's tricky when you've got the double strands. There we go. Slip stitch. Pull that tight, and then we're going to come back and we're going to slip stitch down into the row below. You can chain one, cut your yarn, pull that out, and just give it a nice tug to tighten. And there you go. You just need to weave this end in, and you've got yourself a finished scrubby. Hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget, I've got these kits on my website. They are $20. And you get at least 4 scrubbies. And I've got this much left over of my cotton, so I could probably even get a small washcloth out of that. All right, have a great day, guys. See you soon.